Congratulations. If you see this message before October 10th, you need to know with total confidence that you have been specially chosen to hear a message that holds eternal importance and holy meaning. This isn't a mistake. This isn't just luck. This isn't simply another video you stumbled upon without meaning. This is God Himself reaching into the very core of your existence, stopping your distractions, breaking through the noise in your life, and saying to you, my loved one, the time is here. I am speaking to you now. I am getting you ready. I am calling you forward. When God makes sure a message arrives right at your doorstep at the perfect moment, it means He has already prepared the ground for the seed of truth to grow deep inside your soul. And if your heart is open to this message before October 5th, then I promise you, heaven has planned something for your life that no person, no enemy, no trouble, and no darkness can cancel. This very second is sacred. Don't take it lightly, because the difference between a life of aimless searching and a life of certain destiny often comes down to whether you recognize God's perfect timing when it knocks at your door. Too many people spend years ignoring the signs, dismissing the quiet whispers, and walking away from the chances that God puts right in front of them. But you, yes, you who are listening right now, God has chosen to talk to you immediately. He is not waiting until next week. He is not waiting until next year. He is declaring, now is the hour. Now is the moment. Now is the day for your awakening. If this message finds you before October 10th, then it is a clear signpost that you are being called to line up with what God has already guaranteed for your future. You see, God does not speak by chance. Every word has a specific target. Every message has a special place to go. And when God decides a message should find you before a specific day, it means your life is about to enter a new chapter. October 10th is not just a date on the calendar. It is a marker. It is a doorway. It is a gate that separates what has already happened from what will certainly be. And if this message has reached you before that door opens wide, then God is making you ready so that when you step across, you will not trip but rise. You will not fall apart but stand strong. You will not be broken but built up. Let me ask you plainly, why do you think God set specific times and seasons? Why does He state that there is a time to plant, a time to harvest, a time to construct, a time to tear down, a time to start, and a time to finish? Because nothing under the sky is random. Your life is not random. The hard times you have walked through are not random. Even the tears you have cried are not wasted. God collects them. God counts them. God knows. And when the moment arrives that you are prepared for the next part of your story, He will send you a sign, a word, a clear call. That is exactly what this message is for you today. For too long, you have been carrying the burden of questions. You have asked, when will things get better? When will the great moment of success come? When will my suffering make sense? When will my prayers finally be answered? And God is telling you right now, the moment is nearer than you think. The answer is closer than you realize. The major change is already at your door. But listen closely. God's timing demands your readiness. If you walk into a new chapter unprepared, you might miss the complete blessing of what He planned for you. That is why this message has reached you before October 10th. God is giving you early notice. He is saying, get your spirit ready. Put your heart in the right place. Get rid of the things that distract you. Quiet the noise. I am about to move. Some of you have been waiting for a sign. But the truth is, God has already sent you many. You were too busy, too worried, too hurt to notice them. But this time, God has made it completely clear. He is speaking through this message saying, enough wondering, enough putting things off, enough waiting. You cannot stay in the old chapter when I have written a new one. You cannot remain in the shadows when I have meant you for light. You cannot stay tied down when I have already declared your freedom. Hear me with all your attention if you are listening now. You have been kept safe. You have been carried. You have been protected even in ways you didn't see. Many times the enemy tried to ruin you. Many times difficult situations could have crushed you. Many times you thought you would not survive. And yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still listening. Why? Because God would not allow your story to end before His great promise was completed. The simple fact that you are alive to hear this word is proof that the enemy's plans have already failed. What was planned to bury you has only prepared the ground for you to rise up. Do not underestimate what God is about to do in your life. You may look around and see nothing different yet. You may glance at your situation and wonder if anything is truly changing. But God does His most powerful work in the quiet. Seeds don't sprout the second they are planted. Roots grow deep in the dark before the fruit ever shows on the surface. In the same way, God has been working in the unseen parts of your life. He has been planning, getting ready, setting things in order, and making everything fall into place. And now he says, watch. The season of hidden growth is changing to a season of visible breakthrough. But let me give you a warning: when God begins to lift you up, don't expect everyone to celebrate with you. Not all people will understand. Some will doubt you. Some will be against you. Some will even be jealous. That is why God sometimes keeps you separate before He promotes you. He pulls you away from people who cannot handle the importance of your calling. He removes voices that would silence His clear instructions. He takes away the support systems you have leaned on so that when you rise, you will know it was not man, not chance, not luck, but God alone who raised you up. And this is exactly why timing is everything. If you hear this message before October 5th, then you must treat it seriously. Do not ignore it. Do not shrug it off as just another inspiring message. This is a divine command. God is saying, wake up from your sleep. Get rid of your excuses. Step out of your fear. I am ready to move if you are ready to trust. Too many people wait for the perfect conditions before obeying God. But I assure you, perfect conditions will never come. Faith is stepping forward when the ground looks shaky because you trust the one who created the foundation of the earth. Faith is obeying when the path is unclear because you know God sees the very end from the very beginning. God is calling you to trust Him with a deeper surrender, to stop holding on to what is comfortable, and to start embracing what is eternal, to stop looking at what you lack, and to start walking in the great abundance He already promised, to stop playing the failures of the past in your mind, and to start getting ready for the victories of the future. Your life cannot be defined by what was lost. It must be defined by what God is about to release. You might say, but I am not ready. I am not good enough. I am not strong enough. Let me tell you, no one God calls is ever ready in human terms. But when God chooses you, He gives you what you need. When God calls you, He makes you stronger. When God sends you, He covers you. Do not measure yourself by your own weaknesses. Measure yourself by God's endless strength. Do not measure your future by your past mistakes. Measure it by God's eternal plan. And if you think your mistakes stop you from being used, let me remind you, God is a master at turning brokenness into something beautiful. He takes the shattered pieces of your history and uses them to build something that cannot be shaken. The scars you carry are not signs of defeat. They are proof that you survived. And what you survive becomes the very testimony that carries power for other people. God does not waste pain. Every challenge you faced has been getting you ready for the great calling you are about to receive. Before October 5th, you must make a choice. Will you believe God or will you doubt Him? Will you step into faith or remain tied down by fear? Will you prepare your spirit for success or will you sleep through the warning alarm God has sounded? The choice is yours. God has already declared His promise, but you must choose to walk into it. You must choose to line up with it. You must choose to believe it. Do not think lightly of this moment. This is a prophetic stop. God has paused you here because He wants your complete attention. And I say again, congratulations, because if this message has found you before October 10th, it means you are on the edge of a divine unfolding that will go beyond anything you can imagine. Doors will open that were once locked tight. Relationships will be set right. Chances will appear that you were not even looking for. Strength will come that you didn't know you possessed. And most of all, the presence of God will cover you in ways you have never felt before. Lift up your eyes because what is coming is greater than what has been. Lift up your spirit because God is closer than you know. Lift up your faith because this is not just another time period. This is your special appointed time. And if this message reached you before October 10th, then heaven has already written your name into the next great chapter of God's unfolding plan. Congratulations. If this message reaches you before October 10th, you are standing at the edge of a sacred turning point in your life's journey. Do you truly understand how important that is? Many people scroll through life non-stop, numb to the quiet divine whispers, deaf to the spiritual alarms, and blind to the signals from heaven. But you, right now, have been stopped by a message not made by a person's thoughts, but brought by God's perfect timing. This is not a simple lucky chance. This is God's intentional hand. He has interrupted you in your normal day because He has chosen to place something extraordinary into your spirit. If your heart is beating as you hear this, it is because the eternal God is calling you into a deeper understanding of His purpose for you. Before October 5th, the heavens are setting things right in your life. You may not see it with your natural eyes, but the action has already started. God changes seasons long before the world notices them. The air feels different before the leaves turn. The tide moves before the waves hit the shore. In the same way, God has been quietly working behind the scenes of your life, moving people around, closing doors that are no longer good for you, and opening paths that lead directly to your divine work. And if you are hearing this message now, it means you are on the leading edge of this major change. God is telling you in advance so you won't be caught unprepared. You must grasp something essential. God's timing is not the same as man's timing. While people operate by clocks and calendars, God operates by seasons and purposes. October 5th is not just another date on the human calendar. It is a prophetic marker on your life-specific timeline. If you treat it like a normal day, you will miss its extraordinary meaning. If you prepare, however, you will step into it with great clarity, strength, and courage. Too many people let great divine opportunities pass them by because they assume tomorrow would look just like today. But God is telling you right now, tomorrow will not look like today. Tomorrow is ready with transformation, and you must prepare yourself to welcome it. Think of how God has always acted. He told Noah before the rain fell. He guided Abraham before the journey even started. He warned Joseph before the time of hunger hit the land. He never leaves those he chooses without a word of preparation. That is what is happening here. This message is your preparation. You have been asking God for clear direction, for a sign. This message is your answer. It is your warning and your promise wrapped up together. It is God saying, I am about to open a chapter you have never seen before, but I will not let it surprise you. I am giving you notice. I am teaching you now. And what is He requesting of you? He is asking for surrender. Not a half-hearted surrender that only gives Him what is easy, but a total surrender of your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, and your personal plans. God does not ask for partial trust. He asks for complete trust. He asks you to let go of the tight grip you have on your own ideas and to lean fully into His wisdom. Some of you have been holding on to control so tightly that your hands feel sore. Yet God says, release it. Put it in my hands. Let me carry what you were never made to carry. But here is a strong truth: surrender is not weakness. Surrender to God is great strength. Surrender does not mean losing something. It means finally winning where it matters most. When you surrender to God, you step out of the fragile safety of your own plans and into the unshakable covering of His will. When you surrender, you stop struggling in circles and start moving in straight lines. When you surrender, you stop surviving and start thriving. God cannot fill hands that are tightly closed around what He is asking you to let go of. He cannot pour into a container that refuses to be emptied. And that is why He calls you now, before October 10th, to loosen your hold, to open your heart wide, and to allow His Spirit to flow freely through you. Do not underestimate what God wants to achieve in you. Too many have been fooled into believing that their life is small, unimportant, or unnoticed. But God says, I have placed eternity within you. I have written greatness into your very being. I have woven purpose into every breath you take. You are not a random happening of birth. You are not a mistake of circumstance. You are a deliberate design of God. And if He has protected you until this moment, it is because your story is still being told. Every setback you suffered was not to destroy you, but to shape you. Every disappointment was not meant to break you, but to build you. Every storm you lived through was a training ground for the authority you are about to walk in. And I tell you this before October 10th, God wants you to wake up to the truth of who you are in Him. Not who the world says you are. Not who your failures tell you that you are. Not who your fears whisper you are, but who God declares you to be. He calls you chosen. He calls you set apart. He calls you appointed. You are not defined by the names people gave you. You are defined by the identity God stamped on you before you were even born. And the moment has come for you to rise and live in that identity with boldness, certainty, and unshakable faith. But let me speak very clearly. This awakening will not come without some resistance. When God prepares to raise you up, forces of opposition will always appear. Do not find it strange if you suddenly face unexpected problems, weird spiritual fights, or unexplainable tension. It is not a sign that you are going the wrong way. It is proof that you are on the edge of a breakthrough. The closer you move toward your destiny, the more fiercely darkness tries to push you back. But remember this, no weapon formed against you will succeed when God's hand is upon you. The enemy may create the weapon, but God has already taken away its power. He may shout like a lion, but he cannot eat what God has sealed. Your survival up until this very second is enough proof that God's protection is stronger than any attack. And this is why you cannot afford to enter this new season with old burdens, old anger, old grudges, old fear, or old doubt. They cannot walk with you into October 5th. They are heavy weights, and if you cling to them, they will pull you down. When God is trying to lift you up, forgive where you need to forgive. Release where you need to release. Close the chapters that have already finished. The new cannot arrive while you are holding on to the old. And God says, I am ready to give you new oil, new strength, new vision. But you must empty yourself of yesterday's leftovers. There are times in history where everything changes. Moments where nations are completely redefined, lives are directed onto new paths, and destinies are rewritten. October 10th is one of those moments for you. It is not just a day on a calendar. It is a divine reset, a holy interruption, a spiritual gateway. And if you hear this message before that day, it means God has trusted you enough to prepare you ahead of time. Not everyone hears, not everyone receives, but you. God has chosen to tell you in advance. Congratulations. Because this is not ordinary. This is sacred. So stand tall, lift your head, make your faith stronger, because the God who carried you through the storms will now carry you into the promise. The God who held you in the lowest point will now set your feet on the mountaintop. The God who saw your tears in the night will now dress you with joy in the morning. And you will know without any doubt that it was not luck, not chance, not a mistake, but God alone who brought you here. If this message has reached you before October 10th, I say again, congratulations. Not because you stumbled across just words, not because you found some passing inspiration, but because God Himself has chosen to speak directly into the very depths of your life. You have been given revelation, given a warning, and given a promise. And what you do with this exact moment will decide how you walk into the season that is about to open up. You cannot leave this message behind as if it were just another song. You cannot hear God's voice and then go back to life unchanged. When God speaks, it is an invitation but also a responsibility. He is not only comforting you, He is commissioning you. He is not only giving you peace, He is awakening you. He is saying, rise, stand firm, live with courage. Walk with faith. Step boldly into the purpose I have already prepared for you. The days ahead will not look like the days behind. God is declaring a massive change, and you must choose whether to step into it. Will you stay held back by fear, or will you rise in great faith? Will you keep replaying the failures of yesterday, or will you allow God to write a new chapter of victory? Will you waste a chance to align with His timing, or will you grab this sacred moment with all the strength of your soul? The choice is in your hands, but the power to carry it through is in God's hands. So, here is your clear action plan. Dedicate yourself. Get rid of the distractions that have been blocking your spirit. Silence the voices that have drowned out God's quiet word. Forgive those you have kept tied up with anger. Let go of the heavy burdens that were never meant for you to carry. And above everything else, trust. Trust with the kind of faith that moves mountains. Trust with the kind of surrender that brings deep peace. Trust with the kind of boldness that refuses to give in to fear. Stand before God tonight, tomorrow, and in the days leading to October 10th, and declare with your entire being, I am ready. I am surrendered. I will not miss what you have appointed for me. Let these not be empty words, but a cry that comes from the deepest part of your soul. For God has kept you safe, chosen you, and now He calls you to walk into your destiny with the strength He Himself provides. And as you move across into this new season, remember this. The same God who created the stars and the earth, the same God who guides the planets and directs the oceans, is the God who walks beside you, inside you, and before you. Do not back down. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Step forward with great courage, for your special time has finally arrived. Go forth then, not as the same person you were yesterday, but as one awakened, fully empowered, and unshakably connected to God. Let your life become a clear testimony that when God speaks, and when His child truly believes, nothing on earth or in the heavens can stop the completion of His divine plan. Now the call rests with you. Will you rise? Will you believe? Will you fully surrender? If this message has reached you before October 10th, then the heavens are already ringing with your answer. Step into it, and let the world see what happens when a life is completely given over to the Almighty God.